Recognizes Mr. Frost from Florida.
I yield 10 seconds to Mr. Mfume.
To Mr. Mfume.
I thank the gentleman for yielding. I'm sorry that my colleague from Texas has left the room. I just want to say that he pointed out in his remarks that the founders of the Constitution said that D.C. should be a federal district and never a state, as if they were right. And I would just simply call to his attention those same persons at that same constitutional convention and for 200 years afterwards said that black people in this country were property, not citizens. And then the Dred Scott decision said that we were 3/5 of an individual. So just because they said it clearly does not make it right, and it doesn't make it right with D.C.
Ms. Frost.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate you bringing that up. And also, they're wrong about what's in the Constitution in the first place. The Constitution does not say that we cannot make Washington, D.C. a state. It does not say that. You claim to know the Constitution, and you haven't read it. Nowhere in the Constitution does it say that we can't do that. What it says is there should be a federal district. And the legislation put forth by Representative Norton and supported by House Democrats would make the federal district encompass the places that we work, the White House, the United States Congress, the Supreme Court, and not include the 700,000 people who live in D.C. who pay taxes but don't have proper representation.
That's right.
You know, usually when we're talking about D.C. in this committee, it's, you know, usually we have just folks who can watch in the audience. But I'm happy that today's different because we have representatives from the district's local government and Mr. Greg Jackson Jr. here to give voice to what's going on in Washington, D.C. Greg, you've called the district home for decades. You bring the perspective of the D.C.'s people to this committee. You bring years of expertise and experience in crime reduction to this hearing. And of course, a survivor of gun violence yourself. Before President Trump started playing dictator with the people of D.C., he started dismantling important community safety and violence crime prevention programs, most notably the White House Office of Gun Violence Prevention. Not a partisan office, an office that worked at reducing crime in all of our districts. As a former deputy director of that office, can you describe some of the important work that has stopped due to this administration?
Yeah, one of the most critical things was we were coordinating the response to mass shootings and concentrations of violence. And so without that coordination, cities, states, and local jurisdictions are on their own to navigate these mass tragedies. We implemented 54 executive actions, including adding $2 billion to the Victims of Crime Act Fund. And I will note that on August 2025, multiple states, I believe 24 states, sued this administration for withholding $1 billion in resources for victims of violent crime. But we were the ones that were pushing more resources to victims. We also fully implemented the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act that each party came together on and voted for in 2022. And then lastly, we work directly with local leaders to make sure that we're elevating strategies that work across the country.
You also prevented serious crimes by ensuring that we prevent access to illegal guns, correct?
Correct. We partnered with agencies to do that.
You know, between 2017 and 2021, over 11,000 criminal firearms were recovered in D.C. Most of them, as you noted before, come from outside Washington, D.C. And an interesting statistic, too, is a third of those guns traveled over 300 miles. Over 300 miles to come here. You want to know where they came from? South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, Mississippi, Louisiana, Tennessee, Ohio. These are the states where these guns are coming from. States that don't have good gun laws. States that aren't keeping their people safe. And as a result and byproduct have wreaked havoc on the people of Washington, D.C. Trump's total disregard for American safety is obvious from his current budget requests. Having already fired a majority of the federal gun dealers' inspectors, now he wants to slash another $1 billion that could be used to crack down on these guns. Congressional Republicans are also doing their part to make us less safe. They're trying to remove restrictions on silencers, trying to remove restrictions on rifles, even on firearms designed to look like everyday objects. And we even know that they're insincere in this because I just listed states that have some of the highest murder rates in the nation. I asked this question last time and asked it again. Where's their bill? If this is the way to end crime, and this is the thing everybody wants, why don't they have a bill to invite the military to occupy their states, which have a highest crime rates in this nation? They're not going to do it because they don't want the military to occupy their communities in their states because they know it's a load of crap and they're insincere about it. I yield back.